Hi, welcome to episode 8, I believe, of the Stitchin podcast. Notice anything different? I'm in a completely different place than I was last time. So it's been a while. It's been over 2 months since I last recorded, and I said it would be 2 weeks. About a week and a half. So first, I was like a crazy amount of things have happened since then, like big life-changing things, which is why I haven't recorded. About a week and a half after I last recorded, I got a job offer, and then I got another job offer, and I accepted one of those job offers, and we moved. So since then, it has been a crazy roller coaster ride of stuff happening. I had to actually, so I accepted the job offer. I had to go to San Diego for a trip at the job I was at before that had already been planned. We came back from San Diego and immediately jumped into finding a place to live in our new town, which was difficult because it's 2 states away from where we used to live. So, huge, big stuff happened. So I got a new job, which was great. I was looking for one. This is more in line of what I want to do. For those of you who don't know, I'm aspiring to be an accredited actuary. Actuaries are mathy people who work for insurance companies usually. I was working for a health insurance company, and health insurance is not what I wanted to do. Not only is it just dicey right now in general in the health insurance industry in America, it just isn't where my interests lie, even if the health insurance industry was booming. It really wouldn't be what I wanted to do. So I made a switch and went to life insurance, actually reinsurance. So I'll see how I like that. I'm still pretty early on in my career, so should I want to make the move over later to a different industry, that is still a possibility. But I'm really liking what I'm doing right now, and I'm glad to be settled in a job where I feel like I can grow and I'm not trying to move somewhere else. So that's great. Moving, actually physically moving, we moved from Arkansas to North Carolina. So we moved to like 800 miles away in a very short amount of time. From the time I accepted the job offer to when I started, my first day was like 4 weeks. That was it. And one of those weeks we were out of town. Then we came back, gave her 2 weeks notice. Then the next week we went and found an apartment, and a week later we moved. Kind of crazy. Yeah, so that's what happened. So I don't even have words to say what's going on. We were super excited to move. We've been wanting to move out of Arkansas for a long time, since we've been married. And before that, actually, all of our families in Arkansas. Arkansas is a great, wonderful place to live. Both my husband and I have always wanted to get out and see somewhere different, given North Carolina is very similar to Arkansas in terms of geography and things like that, but also different in lots of ways. We're living in the Charlotte area, so it's a much bigger city than where we were living, although not too big, so I don't know that I'd like to live somewhere like New York. It's just not me. Anyway, but big enough that there's lots more things going on. You get more concerts and more cultural things, and there's more restaurants to eat at, and all kinds of stuff. So we're really close. Well, okay, we're not really close to the beach. We're like 3 or 4 hours away, but we used to be 12 hours away, so it's close. We're close to Asheville, which is a place we like a lot. So many cool places in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia. We're not that far from DC. So anyway, we're really excited to be here. I'm really excited just to have made that step in my life where I move away from where I always lived. That's something I've wanted to do since I was very young. So it's a big goal accomplished, and we're very happy to have accomplished it. So that's why I'm in a 100% different location. Also, you can see behind me my beautiful shelves that my father-in-law built me. He finished them before we moved, and I didn't get to use them until we moved because it didn't make sense to, put them full of stuff, only pack them all up. So they're here, and they have all the yarn and stuff in them, and they're gorgeous, and I love them so much. And even more excitingly, we are sitting in my craft room. That's right, I have an entire room devoted to me and making It's amazing and ridiculous and a dream come true. I only started doing this stuff slightly over a year ago, and I had no idea that it would evolve into this not even a hobby, really passion and obsession that is so inspiring to me, and I can't get enough of, and I love it. And so I have a place for that now, and it's my little tourist sounding cliche and sappy. It's my sanctuary, and it makes me happy, and I love it. I will be doing, hopefully soon, a craft room tour video. It's pretty much the way I want it. I mean, there's always going to be stuff in here I can do to organize better or whatever, but it's functional by far right now. So, yeah, that's all I'm saying. Okay, so I don't know. Okay, so it's been 2 months since we last spoke, and like I said, the month after that was spent getting a new job, leaving an old job, moving, and we moved ourselves, so we did all the packing and driving our things here and unpacking. Then I've been starting a new job and getting settled into our house in our new city, and so I haven't had the most time for crafting, but I have had some. From now on, I've been saying this since first started making these videos, that they would be more regular and then I would get on a strict recording schedule. I really hope to do that now. We are settled, there's nothing big coming up, and that should be beautiful. So, anyway, so I hope to be doing that. I hope to have lots of progress to show you guys, lots of different crafts to show you, so stitching and knitting and spinning, more on that later, and sewing, quilting, whatever it is that I sew. And so I really don't want to get focused on, I like doing all these different things. I don't want to spend all my time just knitting or just stitching, and so I hope to have progress to show you, on at least 2 or 3 of those each time we talk, plus reading. Let's just pray I don't have a kid accidentally, because that would put a damper on all this. But I have done some things. I don't have any stitching to show you, but I have been stitching. It's not in a good spot to show you. I just made my key snap, so I'm just going to wait till next time. But I do have some knitting to show, and I've done more knitting than this, but this is really all I want to show today. So I don't remember the last time I talked about this, or if I have talked about this, but I wanted to learn to knit socks. It took me a few false starts to get going, but I decided, I had got it in my head that I wanted to do toe-up magic loop. For those of you who aren't knitters, magic loop is just a technique for knitting socks, and it's done on one circular needle. And then toe-up just means that you start knitting from the toe and you go to the top of the sock, as opposed to cup down, which would be top of the sock to the toe. So the reason I wanted to go toe-up is so I could use as much yarn as possible. I like higher socks, and so I wanted to make them as high as possible without running out of yarn. And anyway, and so I finally got it started the way I wanted it, and I was getting the gauge I wanted. I like snugger socks, and so I didn't want my gauge to be really loose. And so I finally got that nailed down and got it going. And during San Diego, I was actually at a conference, and so I knit during the conference, and I knit on that sock, because it was really easy to knit on during the conference, just round and round and round. We were just playing sock on it. And so I knit and knit and knit, and eventually I got a sock. And so this is my first ever sock. Look at it. It's got stripes. I'm so proud of myself. I'm a little too excited about this. I show it to everyone that will hold still long enough for me to show it to them. This is done out of, let's see, Loops and Threads, which is the Michaels chain of stores. That's their brand of yarn. So it's not, super expensive yarn. Actually, I got this yarn so I could practice making socks. But I actually really like it. It's soft, it has nylon in it, and it's, let's see. It's their, so it's Loops and Threads is the brand, and then the sock base is the Luxury Sock Superfine. Oh, it has cashmere. So it's 65% Fine merino superwash wool, 30% nylon, and 10% cashmere. This is in the colorway Canyon, so here's the band. I think they have stopped selling this. I cannot find it anywhere else at Michael's. I have another colorway of this, and that's all I have. And I just don't think Michael makes it anymore, so that's kind of sad. Because it's not a bad sock yarn. I don't know how it wears yet. Obviously, I haven't been wearing these very much. It's, because it's summertime. But, for like $4 a ball, and you need 2 balls to make socks, that's pretty cheap compared to most sock yarn. So, anyway, and the colors were fun. So we've got like this really dark plum and these pattern sections, and these just that's just how the yarn is. It just comes off the ball that way, and you just knit, and it makes all these stripes. And I'm just super pleased with these. I did make the bind off a little too tight, so they're a little bit hard to get on, but they do go on once I have them on. They're not too tight. So, and then I just did I think this is a short row heel. I used the Knit Freedoms, which is an online knitting course website. I used their beginner toe-up sock class, and so that's just whatever heel she was doing there. And I could have made my heel a little tighter, the stitches there, but you know, I did that in an airport on the way back from San Diego, so for that I'm pretty pleased with how it turned out. So yeah, so this is only one sock, but I have started the second one. And here's how far I've gotten. So I just did on this when we're watching TV or at lunch. You know, I'm not really in a rush to get these done, but I'm really enjoying it, and I'm kind of anxious to get these off. I want to wear these, you know, around the house and see how I like wearing knit socks. I have worn I mean, it's kind of weird to wear one sock around your house, but I have worn this one, and it doesn't feel, it's not too hot. I thought it would be pretty warm. I mean, it's not cold, obviously, but it will keep your feet warm. But it's not like my feet are sweating in it. Of course, this isn't 100% wool either. But what was I saying? I don't know. I'm just gonna see. And I think I do like wearing them though, and so I'm really excited to use more of my sock yarn, which I have put in this container. There's a lot of it. This is full all the way. I'll show it to you when I do my tour video. So yeah, I hope I like wearing socks because I got a lot of sock yarn. Anyway, so here's these, and hopefully we'll get those done soon. I'm also going to knit my husband a pair of socks, hopefully soon, but I haven't started those yet. So there's that. Oh, and then also in knitting, in the last video, I talked about this green gifty cow as a finished object. I didn't have it, so I just wanted to show it to you real quick. So this is out, I don't have it, I think it's out of Malabrigo. They're like chunky yarn, but it's in the Verde Adriana colorway? That may be wrong. But it's just this really bright green, and it does have some variegation in it, which picks up on the camera much more than it does in real life. But anyway, so this is the gifty cow. So it's just real simple, a broken rib, and it's super squishy and warm, and I love it. And it was pretty fast because it's bulky yarn. So yeah, I like it. So there's that. Okay, last thing in knitting. This is not something that I made, but something that, so when I moved, I obviously had to leave behind all my friends at my LNS in Little Rock, and that was sad because I really had a great community there at my local needlework shop, and of course we were all brought together by stitching, but many of those women knit and sew and do so many other things, and it was just so inspiring to be with them. They're the ladies that I went to the retreat with, and anyway, and my retreat roommate, June, is one of my very, very good friends in that circle, and she was so sweet. She knit me this shawl as a going away present. So it's just a triangular shawl. This is actually done in the Barocco cotton. It's called Karma is the base. And then it's got this fringe on it, and the fringe has all these beads on it. And the beads actually came from, in Little Rock, there's a really cool bead store, and it's huge, and they have so much stuff in there. It's called the Argenta Bead Company, and June and I went together for the first time to check it out, and so she got all the beads from there, and it just, I don't know, it's just made it special because it reminds me of her and of the time when we went to look at the bead store when we were interested in beading. But there's just some really neat beads on here, like there's this little guy, and there's also, they're not all like pictures of the kitty, because I have a kitty. And then there's just, solid color beads and ones with flowers and stars, and it's just very pretty. And anyway, so this just makes me happy because June made it for me, and so she knits as well, and I know how much time this took, and it's beautiful, and she did such a good job on it, and I will treasure it always. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Okay, what else is going on? So that's really all that I have done so far, but I have, being in my craft room and being in a new place and feeling like I've kind of got my life headed in the right direction is very inspiring. I feel like I can just do whatever I want in terms of creating things, and that's a really good feeling. So I have so many project ideas, so many planned projects, so many things going on in my head all the time. I don't even know how I could possibly do all the things I want to do right now, but that's so good. It's a good feeling. It is frustrating sometimes when my the goal accomplishing side of myself gets frustrated because things don't get done as quickly as I would like. But that's that's just the way it goes. And in the meantime, I'm just really loving the creativity that I'm feeling, and I have so many ideas for different things, for knitting projects, for sewing projects, for knitting projects. And it's just great. Since I've been in Charlotte about a month now, and I've been exploring the area in terms of what shops are here. So I've been to a couple quilting shops, a couple of three yarn shops actually. There's not much here in the way of stitching. There is a needlepoint shop. I haven't really gotten into needlepoint yet. I don't know that I will. There aren't many needlepoint canvases I've seen that I'm super into doing. So, which is fine. I think needlepoint can be very beautiful, and I like stuff that other people do, but it's not for things I want to make myself. So we'll see. But still, nice that there's people here making things. So I'm doing that today. Actually, I went to one of the yarn stores and had a spinning class. One of the yarn shops, they also carry spinning supplies and weaving supplies. Let's not get I'm kind of avoiding weaving right now because it's definitely the last thing I need to be doing. But anyway, so I went for a spinning class. I don't have a spinning wheel. I have a spindle, but in the class, they sell wheels at the shop, so they let you use a wheel to spin on in the class. So you learn both spinning on a wheel and spinning on a spindle. And someone just works with you, one-on-one. It was really fun. Spinning is intense physically. There's so many things going on, and if you have to do them all for it to come out really the way that you want it to. But there's also not a slow way to get into it. You just kind of have to do it and fix it as you go along. And so it was difficult, but also difficult in a good way. Challenging in terms of coordination and things and concentration, but I think I finally got it good enough to where I can practice at home. So I'm going to be practicing on my spindle. It's up here with my bag of practice fiber. So hopefully I will get that spun up soon, and then I'll learn about applying and making yarn and be doing that more often. And then hopefully someday in the future I'll get a spinning wheel. It won't be anytime soon. Most of my crafting money right now is going to be headed towards paying for me to go back to Arkansas later this fall to go to the retreat. It's the same retreat that I went to in the spring, and she does it in the spring and the fall, and I'm so excited I can go back in the fall. That was one of the best experiences I've had in my life, but also just as a crafter and someone who likes to make things. So anyway, so I'm kind of putting all my money towards that. Plus, I have so many things to do. I don't need to put money towards anything else. Especially since I've got here and I've got my craft room set up, I've been having to buy things to do that. And now I'm kind of at a place where I have so many things to do. I have all the stuff I need to do them. I just don't really need to buy any more stash right now. If I had all more money or won the lottery, sure, I'd go buy yarn. I think anyone who's watched my videos knows that I have nothing against buying things when you have things already to make things with. But that's just not where money needs to go right now, and that's okay. Because I have more than enough. Again, just in socks. I could knit for a year or two just knitting socks. So yeah, so many plans. Super excited. One thing I wanted to show you, speaking of plans, and I'll just talk about this for a little bit. My sister-in-law, who is my husband's sister, is having a baby, and this is the first grandbaby in our family. On either side, well, my side of the family is just me. I don't have any brothers or sisters, so definitely no grandbabies there. But first grandbaby in Mark's side of the family, and we're all so excited. We already have a big family on that side of the family. Between his parents and his siblings and their spouses, there's 8 of us. So it's so exciting to be adding to that family, and this is the start of a new era kind of for all of us. We've been that family, that 8 of us, for a while now, and so it's just it's really exciting to move into this era of babies and children. So anyway, so she's having a baby, so of course I'm making things for the baby. I have a huge list of things. This baby's gonna get so many presents. I have a big cross-stitch project, which is the main one I'll be sharing with you guys over the next few weeks. Big cross-stitch project. I'm knitting a toy, so the baby, we don't know what the baby is. They decided to not find out the gender, which I think is so cool, because really gender doesn't matter. And so they're doing a gender-neutral nursery, and she's doing gray and yellow as the main colors, and then elephants are like the theme, which I think is really cute. So I'm knitting an elephant for the baby, and so I got the yarn for that today. So that's one thing. I want to knit, the baby's being born in October, so it's going to be a baby, a small baby in the winter time, and not like our winters are horrible, but they're cold. So I'm going to make a sweater and hat set for baby. This was, I'm going to make some burp cloths. I made some I didn't show them on the show, but I've made these before, where you get the cloth diapers from Target. They're super absorbent, and they fold up nicely into a good go over your shoulder shape for burp cloths, and you can put quilting fabric over them and make them pretty. So I'm going to do that. That'll be a really quick project. I'm going to make a diaper clutch that I was thinking of changing that to go in, a diaper bag. And so those are the sewing projects. Oh, and then the big one, the really big one, both in terms of, the kind of effort it's going to take and the size, is the quilt. I'm making the baby a quilt. I'm not making a baby quilt. So when I was thinking, first I thought I'd make a baby size quilt, and then I was thinking that baby will only be a baby for not that much of his life or her life. And so I decided, and quilts are things that last quite a long time if you make them good, and so I want to make the baby any person size quilt, something that the baby can use throughout their lives. I had to keep calling it the baby because, again, we don't know what it is, so we don't have a name for it. And so, yeah, so I wanted to make, a quilt that an adult can use. Not necessarily like a bed-size quilt, but just like a throw-over lap quilt. But so what I did, I was looking for fabrics that sort of went with the nursery theme, so the gray, yellow sort of stuff, but it doesn't have to be quite, direct interpretation of that, because again, it's going to be past the nursery stage, but I kind of wanted to use that as inspiration. And then also something gender neutral, and something that wasn't super childish, because again, I want this to last past baby's childhood. And so I found the fabric that I wanted, and let me just show it to you now. So I got some pre-cuts because I really like this entire fabric line. This is Moda's Autumn Woods, and it's designed by Kate and Birdie Paper Company. And so the colors in this, we have this gorgeous yellow, an orange, it's got some coral in it, kind of a washed out navy blue, and then this brownish gray. So this color is not quite the gray I think that's going in the nursery. It has quite a bit more brown in it, but I think it's really pretty. Like in this light, it just looks brown. I think in the fabric line it's called Stone, so I'm going with it as gray. Anyway, excuse me. I love these fabrics. The prints are very modern but beautiful. It's autumn inspired. Baby is an autumn baby, so I think that works. And it's just fun. It's, pretty, but it's not overly feminine. I think the colors are more masculine. The prints are still quite delicate, and so I think it's a good balance between all those things. The colors are gorgeous. I have a quilt. Excuse me. I have a quilt pattern picked out. I don't have it with me right now, or I will tell you. I got it off the Moda Bake Shop blog, which has quilt patterns for their pre-cuts. So I got, in this fabric, I got a layer cake, so that's like 40 or 42 of these 10 by 10 squares, and then I got a jelly roll, which is a bunch of these. I think these are 2.5 by a lot strips, and so they came all rolled up, but I've unrolled them. And so I found a pattern that used both of those things. So anyway, so I did that, and I was just looking for a pattern that I liked the shapes and that wasn't too complicated because this is my first quilt in terms of the piecing, and but that was also interesting, and I liked that. I thought that these colors and patterns and things like that would look well in. So I picked out the pattern, great, went and got the fabric for it. Looked at the finished size of this quilt. It's 90 by 90 inches, which means it's like 7.5 feet square, which is huge. So, so this baby could live under this blanket. It could cover its entire room probably. But I think that's really cool that it's gonna have that big of a quilt when it's a baby, and it should be really awesome. I hope they like it. If not, they can give it back because I like it so far. So far, I just have a pile of fabric, but whatever. So that's something I have going on, and then so all of these things. Okay, baby is due end of October-ish, like October 20 something. I go back to Arkansas, which is where baby and baby's mom are, and all the rest of my family, in mid-October for the retreat. So I hope to have all the things done that I need to have done for the baby then, because we won't see the baby until Christmas, and I really want to give her these things before the baby's born. I don't know why, I just have it in my head that's what's going to happen. So I have the cross-stitch piece, which will be framed, which means I have to have it done. I'd like to have it done at least 2.5 to 3 weeks before I leave for the retreat, so that I can get it framed, have it back, and then be ready to go. If there's, hopefully there's any issues, I can deal with those. And then I want that quilt done. The quilt is very large. In the future, I would really like to machine quilt things on my own instead of having someone else quilt them. This one is so big. My sewing machine is not a quilting machine, and I think it's just going to be too much for me to do first time ever quilting anything more than a pot holder. So I think I'm going to have it quilted by someone else. The shop where I got the fabric has very reasonable prices on their quilting, especially for such a huge quilt and how much time it would take me to quilt it. So I'm probably going to do that, which again means I need to have the quilt top done and put together, and the back together by, again, 2.5 to 3 weeks before I go back. So I have a timeline made out of what needs to be done every week up until then, and then so I will be focusing on those 2 pieces because they're the most time consuming, and then I will move on to my other sewing projects and the knit projects for baby. And this baby will obviously get more things from me in the future, but this is for before you're born. So anyway, I'm very excited with that. Yeah, so that's really all that's going on right now. I really hope to do these consistently. I love doing these videos. I love connecting with people online about things I like to do. And so I'm really going to make an effort to do them consistently. Like I said, things have calmed way down. The last 2 months were insane, and there was no way I could film, even if I did. There'd be nothing to show you because I was having no crack time. I got sick when we moved, so that was crazy. Yeah, I never get sick, and I got like really sick in the middle of moving, like almost flu-like sick, and I haven't been that sick since middle school. So, like the day we moved, I was sick. It's super great. Yeah, that's it. Okay, so it was great talking to you guys again. I'm so excited. Hopefully between, maybe the next video will just be the tour video, or maybe I'll do that. I think I'll probably just do that between now and the next time I record, like a podcast episode. So I hope you're looking forward to that. I would really love my room, and I'm really excited to share it with you guys. And I'll see you next time. Thanks. Oh yeah, by the way, so I'm the book nerd on Ravelry, Cross Stitch, and the Cross Stitch forum on Instagram. I have been really bad about being on the Cross Stitch forum, which is horrible because I really like it there, so I'm going to get back into that. All my knitting stuff's on Ravelry. I post pictures lots and lots on Instagram, so find me there. Leave comments on YouTube. I will be keeping up with my YouTube comments better. And that's it. I hear my cats running inside. So I'll talk to you guys soon, I promise. And yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.